30. Enough.
They have to hear directly from him. Stop terrorism. It's another period now. It's another ball game.
But the same game is still being played out in the streets of Jerusalem. A soldier on a routine foot patrol gets a knife in the back, and another wound is dealt to the peace process.
The killings are creating a vicious cycle here. Israelis say it's difficult to make progress in the negotiations until the violence stops. Palestinians say the violence will probably continue unless there's quick progress in the negotiations.
Without Palestinians and Israelis feeling that their life is changing due to the implementation of the agreement, all they have to expect is an escalation of the violence and counter-violence.
And that seems to be what people do expect right now. A poll published today shows that for the first time since the deal was sealed, a majority of Israelis is against it. Bob Simon, CBS News, Jerusalem.
2 more groups of refugees risked their lives to get to South Florida today. 13 Cubans, including several children, came in on a stolen crop dusting plane. They survived a harrowing night flight, a 4-hour trip in stormy weather with no navigational equipment. A U.S. Customs aircraft helped them land. The Cubans asked for political asylum and were released. Under U.S. policy, nearly all Cubans are granted asylum. By contrast, nearly 50 Haitian refugees were taken to a detention center when they were caught wading ashore near Miami early today. Most of them can expect to be deported back to Haiti.
Stay here with us for much more of the CBS Evening News, including a warning from the president: fight crime now or pay a steep price later.
Why make a whole pot at the office? Try Folgers Coffee Singles, made with ground roast coffee and its own filter for one freshly brewed cup. Folgers Coffee Singles, the ultimate one-cup coffee machine.
Some people get nasal congestion, but if you get sinus congestion, use a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex has a decongestant plus Vicks Vapors, so you can feel your swollen passages open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
2 a.m., 36 Pine Street. Apartment 4C has a backache and can't sleep. 3C overdid her afternoon workout and is paying the price. 2C had an aching back, but fortunately she also has Tylenol PM gel caps with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help her sleep. And a good night's sleep was all she needed to make her day a whole lot brighter. Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
Sarah, and she's lucky because today she'll encounter egrets doing dances and alligators in the wild. She'll see how other moms take care of their kids, and she'll be doing this, recycling, through a program of the National Park Service and its recycling partner, Dow.
We can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
Together with the National Park Service and folks like Sarah.
Dow lets you do great things.
Ever wonder who's watching you? We'll show you.
Plus, TV Goodies looks back at All in the Family.
Tomorrow on CBS This Morning, breakfast for your head.
Just how much Americans are fed up with violent crime is evident tonight on several fronts. As correspondent Linda Douglas reports, there's a new anti-crime drive underway from the president on down, even as the body count continues to rise.
Typical scenes in America's big cities. In Chicago, 8 people murdered since Friday. In Washington, D.C., 16 people shot dead in 9 days. Violent crime is an issue that haunts the president and one he plans to address with new proposals next month. This weekend, he warned his ambitious domestic programs won't succeed if America's social fabric continues to unravel.
But unless we deal with the ravages of crime and drug and violence, none of the other things we seek to do will ever take us where we need to go.
In an emotional speech at a Memphis church this weekend, Mr. Clinton argued if Martin Luther King Jr. could see the violent world of America's urban teens, he might think his fight for freedom was in vain.
The freedom to die before you're a teenager is not what Martin Luther King lived and died for. How would we explain to him all these kids getting killed and killing each other? How would we justify the things that we permit that no other country in the world would permit?
Today in Chicago, mayors and police chiefs met to come up with proposals to fight crime. The White House says the president's crime-fighting agenda will stress personal responsibility, intact families, and jobs. But the Senate, working on its own crime bill this week, has taken a different tack, pushing legislation that is top-heavy with punishment, like $6 billion for more prisons, longer prison terms, and a provision to prosecute some young teens as adults.
There is a mood here that if someone came to the floor and said, you know, we should barb wire the ankles of anyone who jaywalks, I suspect it would pass.
This week, the Senate will vote on its crime bill, a $22 billion proposal that could be watered down significantly in negotiations with the House. But the mood of the public is fierce, and Congress may not be allowed to go home for the holidays until it has agreed on crime-fighting legislation. Linda Douglas, CBS News, Washington.
A federal judge ruled today that campaign manager and consultant Ed Rollins and other Republican political operatives do have to give sworn testimony about whether they paid to suppress African-American voter turnout in the New Jersey governor's race. Rollins, who managed the winning Republicans' campaign, first boasted, then recanted that Republicans spent $500,000 to suppress the turnout for the Democrat. The U.S. Supreme Court today made it clearer as to just how far states may go to regulate and restrict abortions. The High Court let stand a Mississippi state law that requires unmarried minors to get the consent of both parents or permission from a judge to have an abortion.
The story that launched 3 primetime television movies came to a real-life conclusion today in a courtroom in Long Island, New York. Joey Buttafuoco was sentenced to 6 months in jail after admitting to having sex with an underage Amy Fisher. Fisher was in court for the sentencing. She is serving 5 to 15 years for shooting and wounding Buttafuoco's wife. Pop star Michael Jackson has popped out of public view again. Lawyers for Jackson now say he's in drug rehab for addiction to painkillers, but they won't say where. They deny Jackson is delaying his return home because of a 13-year-old boy's charges of sexual abuse.
A new CBS News poll released tonight indicates 9 out of 10 Americans believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone in the murder of President John F. Kennedy. That was 30 years ago, the killing. This most recent number is up from other polls in recent years. The poll was done for the special 2-hour CBS Reports Who Killed JFK to be broadcast Friday night at 9 Eastern Time, 8 in the Central Time Zone. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News. High-tech, organized, and on the move. An exclusive look inside the world of neo-Nazis.
Start fresh and get a whole other kind of chip.
Chip Shot.
Presto Chip Shot potato chips. Slices so thin they gotta be crisp. Regular or ripple cut. Fry them up or even microwave for a light, no-fat chip.
Chip Shot.
Perfect Chip Shot slices. Flavor them up for the taste you want. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe.
Chip Shot.
Crisp, light, delicious, a whole other kind of chip. Chip Shot potato chipper.
Chip Shot.
From Presto.
In this house, I have no time for colds. My husband's a doctor and can give me anything, but he recommends Dimetap Extend-Tabs. Dimetap controls my sneezing and nasal congestion no matter how bad it gets. It's strong medicine, so strong, 1 tablet lets me keep going all day long.
Doctors have recommended the Dimetap brand over 200 million times for their families and yours.
Trust is everything, and my husband trusts Dimetap.
So if I call my friend Susan the most, they pay half?
Sprint announces yet another reason to switch to the most.
Because sometimes I call her for absolutely no reason and we talk for hours about nothing at all.
Talk all you want. Sprint will split the bill on the person you call most.
Wow, now we can talk even longer about nothing.
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
Call now and save 50% with Sprint's calling plan, The Most.
Tuesday, the legend continues. As Call struggles for his life, Gideon and Isom face a deadly enemy.
I'm gonna go get him. He's mine.
Return to Lonesome Dove.
Germany's neo-Nazis have turned to high-tech tactics to elude a police crackdown there. Authorities confess they were caught by surprise this weekend when the extremists mounted a sophisticated secret operation. Senior European correspondent Tom Fenton has our exclusive report.
Early Sunday, police spread a huge dragnet across half of Germany. They're stopping neo-Nazis and confiscating their portable phones. The phones link them with a shadowy figure in Berlin who's directing them to an illegal ceremony at a secret location. Norbert Wiedner is one of the neo-Nazi field commanders.
We're waiting until the leaders of the organizations give us new information where to go.
Some of Wiedner's group are arrested and defiantly sing an old Nazi song. Wiedner and others slip through the net. He crisscrosses Germany in a black Mercedes, coordinating the operation with his mobile phone codes and maps.
That's the map with the coordinates.
Right.
Look, we were here in block 21. Then the next block was 3.
Right.
Then 2. But we didn't arrive at 2 because we have these problems with the police.
Neo-Nazis from all over Germany finally converge on a woodland cemetery where the police frantically try to stop the ceremony. They're outmaneuvered. For a few tense minutes, the neo-Nazis honor Hitler's war dead. They ignore police warnings and wait until their own leaders order them to disperse. They've made their point. Germany's neo-Nazis are better disciplined and organized than most people thought.
We want to show that they, even if they try to ban us, they can't stop us.
The crackdown on the neo-Nazis hasn't destroyed the movement. It has actually strengthened it. They've been forced to forge alliances, and now they're no longer simply independent groups. There is a neo-Nazi network. Skinheads are the shock troops, but their leaders are middle class, almost respectable if it weren't for their racist Nazi views. I mean, it's no longer just kids with jackboots.
No, it is not a case of boots and tattoos and a skinhead. It's just much, much more. What we are fighting for is the survival of our people.
Germany already has an estimated 50,000 far-right extremists, and as their numbers grow, so does their cockiness. Their next goal, to win seats in parliament for the second time in German history. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Hamelin, Germany.
I own this rig. I expect my money to work as hard as her. I have a Dreyfus mutual fund, so I'm in a lot of different stocks and bonds. Every day, Dreyfus may change what's in the fund, what's not. I'm their pros. They're always looking down the road. Dreyfus mutual funds. I feel there's more opportunity than putting your money under a mattress. I mean, is there any room for growth under a mattress?
Welcome back, everybody. Fred, final question. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Norm.
Name the most affordable mid-size sedan with driver and passenger airbags, anti-lock brakes, and a V6.
Okay, I know it's not an import. How about the Ford Taurus?
Oh, Fred, I'm sorry.
What?
The most affordable mid-size sedan with all that stuff is the new Pontiac Grand Prix Sports Sedan.
What?
Denise showed Fred what he could have won.
Grand Prix is the most affordable. Who'd have guessed that? I was going to say Pontiac.
When I was a kid, Mom was always after me to eat right.
And that's what mothers do.
Now I'm looking out for her with Ensure. More than a vitamin supplement, Ensure is a delicious drink with all the nutrients adults need to help stay healthy, active, be energetic.
Drink Ensure as a meal.
Or in between.
You know, dear, Ensure is even recommended #1 by doctors as a source of complete, balanced nutrition.
Ensure. To your health, Mom.
Our health, dear.
You know, I run into people all the time that have never shopped at a Men's Wearhouse store, and I say the same thing to everybody. We offer many of the same brands, the same designers as you'll find in department stores at 20 to 30% less every day. Give us 1 minute. Just come into our store and look at the labels and look at the prices for 60 seconds, and you'll become a Men's Wearhouse customer. I guarantee it.
In Salem, Clackamas, Beaverton, and downtown Portland.
Well, what's for dinner at your house tonight? Chicken would be a pretty safe guess. The average American eats more than a pound of chicken a week. But how safe is the chicken? As you're about to see, the answer could very well be in your hands. Correspondent Frank Courier has the results of a CBS News investigation for tonight's Eye on America.
America's taste for chicken has nearly doubled since 1970.
But the dark side to this white meat revolution is food poisoning. 1 million of us this year will get sick from contaminated poultry. People like Mike Quinn of Stone Mountain, Georgia.
I just assumed it always happened to the other guy.
Hospitalized for 5 days.
I think it was just being a good cook and tasting the barbecue sauce after I'd handled the raw chicken.
So it is for others who mishandle or undercook their chicken and wind up poisoned. Some don't even know it, since the symptoms in mild cases are like flu virus.
Somebody can pick up a chicken, but at the same time, you have to realize that there's bacteria involved in that.
How much bacteria? The USDA admits up to a third of all store-bought poultry is contaminated. The levels vary, but at one extreme, a 1991 government study of pathogen test methods shows 98% of chickens in a retail sample were infected with the bacteria Campylobacter. Carol Tucker Foreman of the Safe Food Coalition is among the USDA's biggest critics.
You shouldn't have to treat a product that says inspected for wholesomeness like a toxic substance in your kitchen.
For a first-hand look, CBS News bought poultry, 10 packages of chicken at randomly selected supermarkets in the Midwest. Then, at an independent food lab, we asked biologists to analyze the raw poultry for salmonella. Despite the USDA seals ensuring each bird was wholesome, 2 of the 10 chickens tested positive for salmonella.
In nature, there are bacteria, and it would be less than forthright to say that, to talk in terms of pathogen-free. I don't believe it can be done in good faith.
Scientists have urged the USDA since 1985 to develop tests for salmonella before chickens leave the plant. But still, there are no known tests nor scientific data to know how much bacteria it takes to make someone sick. So regulators cannot set safe limits.
We really don't have any way to tell whether the bird is free from bacteria, at the plant.
With government committing $8 million for new research into bacteria testing, the USDA and the broiler industry strongly defend the safety of chicken.
It is a natural product, and that it may contain microorganisms of some kind. Doesn't mean it's dangerous. Chicken is one of the safest foods that you can buy, but you simply have to cook it before you eat it.
Some countries in Scandinavia have controlled disease on the farm and produce chickens that are nearly salmonella-free. But U.S. processors say the cost here is prohibitive and insist it's up to consumers to make chickens safe.
Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith want to be able to go home, open up that wrapper, cut the chicken up, and put it right on the grill, and not have to worry about any bacteria.
In response to mounting pressure, the USDA has begun warning consumers that they might get sick unless raw chicken is thawed, washed, and cooked thoroughly. Consumers who choose to microwave raw chicken are advised to use a thermometer and rotate the bird often to avoid undercooked cold spots. A new safe handling label already has begun appearing on store-bought chicken and packages of poultry.
All we're doing is telling these folks, hey, it's going to be contaminated, folks. You better cook it. If you don't cook it, you're going to get sick.
Consumer advocate Elaine Dodge says the USDA has a conflict of interest.
It's their job to both promote agricultural products and protect the consumer, and oftentimes those two things come into conflict.
Illinois butcher Jerry Burnett agrees, and like many retail poultry handlers, thinks the government is compromising food safety.
They just don't have enough inspectors to go around, so there's no way that they can take care of it all themselves.
If our inspectors believe that there is contamination on these birds that's unacceptable, then it is to be rejected.
But in the industry's rush to meet booming demand for poultry, we'll find out in tomorrow's report what sometimes happens to inspectors who are too careful and to consumers who are not. In Chicago, Frank Courier for Eye on America.
And that's our news. Coming up tomorrow on CBS This Morning, your medical records may not be as confidential as you think.
And Connie and I will see you again tomorrow night here on the CBS Evening News. Thank you.
Good night.
Your home at the money store, even if you have less than perfect credit. Over the last year, thousands of homeowners across America have refinanced their mortgages with the money store. You can apply by phone anytime at the money store, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's never an application fee. So to refinance your mortgage, even if your credit is less than perfect, call the money store at 1-800-LOAN-YES. The money store, where America goes for money.